and welcome to 3Q, where I interview industry professionals for just 15 minutes by asking three powerful questions. I'm your host, Rachel Vogel, and joining me for tonight's episode is CEO of YKE, Ayal Kleinman. With over 20 years of experience in the music industry across marketing and digital marketing, Ayal established his agency in 2019 to provide his expertise and resources to labels, both major and indie, distribution companies, artists, and other marketing agencies to market their repertoire in the ever-changing digital landscape. Prior to launching his company, he spent time at major labels like Warner Records and Universal Music Group. So, Ayal, are you ready to get started? Jump into these questions.
Yes, I am. Let's do it.
Imagine for a second you're sitting down with your younger self. What one piece of advice would you give him on a personal note, and what one piece of advice would you give him from a business perspective?
Okay, got you. Well, sad to say, but also happy to say that that was a long time ago. So I've come a long way since those days. I guess I'll start with the professional. And I was thinking back to that time, and I got to say that I'd first of all congratulate and pat myself on the back at 25, looking back and thinking, to how hard I worked and how much I wanted to succeed and how driven I was and where my career was going. I would definitely encourage myself to keep going. First and foremost, just such a great time. That's when I really got my start in the business and got my first promotion and worked on some great projects that I'm very proud of today to have been a part of. I guess in terms of, some correction, I would tell myself not to take myself too seriously and, not to worry too much about the corporate ladder and climbing it. All in all, would definitely be very encouraging to my 25-year-old self in a professional manner. Personally, maybe not the same sentiment. I definitely had a lot of fun in my mid 20s. It was a good time. I think that, again, this is a long time ago, and don't think like mindfulness and just being aware of mindfulness was such a thing. Not that I recall. And so I'd probably encourage myself to just be very present and live in the moment. Again, not take things too seriously, and just really focus on health. I wish that if I could go back in time. Now I'm a lot more focused on my own health and an older age, but I definitely encourage myself to be healthier and to make maybe some better decisions in terms of just overall health and sleeping and eating, etc. But give myself like a B minus, B plus in terms of living 25. So
At what age would you say was like kind of the time that you found that you were able to start to find time for yourself again?
wow. Do I still have that time to myself? No. That's a really good question. I'd say like only recently, just I've been prioritizing it and making sure that I give myself that time. I'd say probably when I started my own company nearly 4 years ago, but it's been great. Yeah, again, I wish I can go back and also encourage that as well.
Before we jump into the next question, can you speak a little bit about what led you to starting your own company?
Definitely. For me, it was always a goal to do that. I really enjoyed my time in the corporate arena. Spent a lot of years there. I got, far up the ladder, so to speak, and just worked hard, kept my head down. I think there was a time, everybody's path is different, where I felt like I outgrew where I was and what I was doing. Just wanted more and wanted more for myself, wanted to really challenge myself. And just that realization that I was not in full control of my own destiny was really the catalyst, which happened like some years ago. But yeah, it was the best decision I've made from a career standpoint and feeling really great about it. And also I know that I did my time. I think a lot of people jump into entrepreneurship a little too early. Whereas, I definitely did my time in a corporation, a couple corporations, and learned a whole lot, made key relationships that really fuel my business today. So again, just a great decision and, I'm feeling good. I feel like I'm just getting started. So
Awesome.
yeah.
All right, jumping into the next question. Every industry has its dirty little secrets, and we all know that it's no different in the music industry. Sometimes people think that's a bad thing, but that's not always the case. Sometimes they can be good. What's one secret you would like to share with our listeners about the industry?
Well, I'm not so big on secrets. And I think what I'm going to tell you is maybe not so much of a secret, but want to make it clear that this business is definitely not for everybody. In my years, I've seen a lot of people come and go, a lot of great people that maybe found that they don't have the temperament for it. It's very challenging and requires a thick skin, in my opinion, to have longevity and to be great at what you do. So I'm not sure that's much of a secret, but definitely would suggest that anybody looking to get into the business to keep that in mind. Um, and if at any point you're feeling discouraged, just realize that you really need that thick skin to survive.
I feel like in this industry, there's always a specific moment that people can look back on and say, that's where I learned that lesson. Do you have that moment?
Many lessons over time, especially dealing with different personalities. I have a lot of friends in this business. I wouldn't say I have any enemies. And reputation is everything. I've definitely worked very hard through the course of my career to maintain my reputation and to just do good work and deliver for people. That's what I'm all about.
Final question. Throughout your career, I can only imagine that you've been asked plenty of questions, whether it was through an industry conference, the media, or even a promotion. But throughout all of those interviews and all of those questions, there has to be one that you've never been asked but would have liked to. So, what is that question and what would be your answer?
Mm. Yeah, I mean, I feel like when I've been asked questions, they've been the right questions. And I think, in a continuation of what I just spoke about, I would want to be asked for anyone that was curious about the business, wanting to go into it or just being curious about it in general, is that what the key to longevity in the business is. And I think having been in the business a while and still doing what I do at a high level, that adapting to change is certainly number one on the list in terms of having a long career, staying current, and keeping up with what moves the needle. I'm not going to name names. I've seen a lot of people that I love dearly in the business that have lost sight on what works and what doesn't work. And it's important for me and what I do in my core business to stay very much on top of what does work and what people want in terms of clients and what works in terms of driving awareness that artists, managers, and labels, distribution companies want. So, yeah, again, maybe not so much of a secret, but adapting to change is certainly very important and key to longevity, and that's what I'm focused on.
Would you say that I know that some people listening might not fully understand what a digital agency in the music industry and the landscape that it is today, really like what the offerings are? What would you say that you work on the most when it comes to digital strategy and presenting artists with a plan?
Right, good question. Yeah, I mean, we're really focused on the media side of digital marketing and awareness in particular. So we drive awareness. We do so with influencer marketing and advertising and things that fall into that bucket, those two buckets. And there's not just one way of doing it. There's many platforms. There's social platforms. There's DSPs, and there's a scope and a spectrum of how to get in front of people with music, with music video content, social content. So we focus on all of that, and every project is different. Every artist is different. Every song repertoire is all different, and we do not do anything cookie cutter. Everything is custom tailored to what our objective is and who the artist is and what they're trying to promote. So I know that that's a broad way of describing what we do, but not to get too specific, we're really focused in on awareness, and that's really the key. So driving awareness and being knowledgeable on what awareness in today's music business climate looks like is our focus and our expertise.
Awesome. Well, it's about time we close this out. So thank you so much for joining me, and to everyone listening, hope you enjoyed tonight's episode. Stay tuned for next week of 3Q, where I interview industry professionals for just 15 minutes by asking 3 powerful questions. See you next time.